What is going on, everybody? John Impemba here with Britt, Flinn. Welcome into the Fantasy Time Game Day Preview live show. We got NFL Week 16 here on tap. And Britt, it is the semifinals for many in their fantasy football leagues. How you feeling about after the last couple games we've seen?
I'm good. A little shocked that all it took was for the Chargers to fire Brandon Staley, and then their defense showed up. Shocked, not shocked, a little bit about that. Also, condolences to anyone who left George Pickens and Gabe Davis on their benches yesterday. I know I talked about it on my show on Friday, but my husband was in the chat saying that he had to start Gabe Davis because of some injuries, but we were really feeling a blow up game for him, and it happened. So it was a nice little appetizer to today's main slate that we're going to see.
Yeah, who knew, impacting fantasy matchups in Week 16 in 2023 would be Mason Rudolph, coming out and throwing all over the field, bringing out some value. I was one of those unfortunate souls that left George Pickens on my bench. I'm hoping, I guess, for Jordan Addison to repeat his performance from last week. That's who I started over Pickens this week after having Addison on my bench last week. So, we're trying to nail the right weeks down to have some of these ceiling games. Haven't had it happen yet. If you guys are tuning in here again, feel free to throw your questions into the chat. Happy to help out this morning here. It's a Christmas Eve, right? So we have a little holiday celebration here. You're in your festive garb, ready to go for it today. We got some Christmas Day games tomorrow to talk about. So pretty spread apart slate for many in their fantasy football matchups. Ethan already in the chat here this morning saying good morning and happy holidays to us with a couple of questions. Needs one for running back and a flex, half point PPR. Achane, Madison if he plays, Singletary, Waller, and then would be Zamir White if Jacobs sat.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Achane. The fun thing about him is that on the Vegas books, his rushing total is actually a little bit higher than Raheem Mostert's. And Dallas with Jonathan Hankins out. Again, last week we saw how susceptible they were against the run with Hankins out of that lineup. I think that Achane is going to have a humongous day, high over-under point total on the slate. So I'm definitely going with him. And then, honestly, I think that I'm going to go with Darren Waller. We still saw him get a ton of targets, even playing a limited snap share last week. And now he gets the Eagles, who rank near the bottom of the league in DVOA against the tight end. So I think I'm going to go with Waller and Achane.
Yeah, no, listen, I like both of those calls here. I think the one thing with Madison is even if he plays, you heard, from the earlier this week, they came out and said, O'Connell's like, listen, we want to give the ball to Chandler, and if Madison comes back, that's great depth for us. A lot of people are inferring that now means that Madison's behind Chandler on the depth chart here. Not that Madison would immediately go back into a starter role. So you have to have some pause or hesitation if Madison was be active today. And then, waiting up the Zamir White news. I mean, is he going to be able to repeat what happened last week? I don't think so. I don't find that to be happening against Kansas City. And Singletary's got a tough matchup against Cleveland. So I'm with you. I think Achane and Waller is the way to go. He's got a follow-up question. Need a wide receiver. Michael Wilson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Mingo, Wicks, or Pierce. Obviously, Green Bay's wide receiver core dealing with a lot of injuries today. Michael Pittman ruled out with the reoccurring concussion symptoms. You have Alec Pierce there. No Hollywood Brown, so Michael Wilson certainly have some more value today. What are your thoughts of the wide receiver spot?
Yeah, I think I'm actually going with Michael Wilson because not only is Hollywood Brown already ruled out, but it seems like Greg Dortch is pretty questionable to play. That basically just leaves Michael Wilson and Rondale Moore in what I figure to be a pretty decent matchup between the Cardinals and the Bears.
Yeah.
So I think I'm leaning Wilson. With Wicks, I mean, he went into this week questionable all week as well. So I'm not sure that he's going to play. Mingo, I don't know if you can trust anyone on the Panthers offense outside of their running game. Wan'Dale is part of that Giants receiving room that has been very hit or miss. You don't know whether or not that target share is going to be consistent. And then Alec Pierce, on a fundamental basis, I cannot trust somebody who's been part of the all exercise team.
Yeah, listen, I mean, he had 5 targets last week, but caught 1 ball. Downs didn't do much of anything. DJ Montgomery is the one who caught the touchdown last week. I'm curious to see If we get any DJ Montgomery questions this morning here, the Wandale Robinson, Darren Waller being back in that fold just kind of throws that whole thing, off. And then Slayton last week, I think, had 8 targets. So you just never know where they're going to go there. So, I'm going to agree with you on the Wilson, just sort of like, out of attrition here. Like he might be the best option. Mingo, I don't want to go up against him with the Packers defense there either. So, Preston in the chat saying Merry Christmas from Cowboys Nation. Good to see you, Dallas and Miami here today. So everything coming through for a win. Needs 2 Flowers, Thielen, Noah Brown, and then he has a Lamar or Jackson Purdy question as well. Where are you going with the wide receivers?
I'm definitely going Noah Brown. He was a guy who was in my stardom section on Friday's show. I think even with Nico Collins in the lineup, that Brown has shown that he can produce points. He's produced double-digit points in the last 3 outings that he's played. And he showed last week, even with Case Keenum in at quarterback, that he's an asset. So I really like him. The thing about Flowers is that I'm a little nervous about the injury.
Yeah.
And at least Thielen plays the slot, which Green Bay's defense has been susceptible to. So I think I'm going to go with Thielen. As far as Jackson versus Purdy, I think I'm going to start Jackson just because of the rushing upside and the fact that maybe Christian McCaffrey gets a little bit more workload, and Baltimore doesn't have that, but they're very, very close.
Yeah, Baltimore's obviously got a very good defense, so it's difficult to want to start Purdy there. Well, the other side of that coin is we've seen San Francisco's defense give up points this year. They're not that great against the pass. That secondary has some holes. If Flowers is out, I like Jackson, less than Purdy here, but they could use CMC a lot. It's very close, Preston. I might go Jackson as well, just because he could run the football here. But I would really like to see Flowers play that game for Jackson for me. Then we got Merry Christmas from Gangsta Boy on YouTube here. Tide Chandler versus the Lions, or DeAndre Swift versus the Giants. Kenneth Walker against the Titans. I need 2 of those.
Ooh. So Jeffrey Simmons is out. So that definitely helps Kenneth Walker. But we've also seen when he's been limited in practice all week, he doesn't get that full snap share that we saw last week against the Eagles. So I'm a little bit hesitant on him. I like what I've been seeing from Ty Chandler. And honestly, DeAndre Swift versus the Giants, I think, will be a very game script situation for him where they run the ball quite heavily. So I'm actually leaving Chandler and Swift.
Yeah, Chandler and Swift is where I'm going to go as well. I know it's not a great matchup for Chandler to run the football against the Lions here, but they do utilize him in the passing attack there. So I'm good with that. Plus, like you mentioned, Kenneth Walker being limited, missed back-to-back practices this week. And they do like using Charbonnet a bit more over the last handful of weeks here. So full agreement with you on there. Better Boss in the chat saying happy holidays. Good morning to you, Matt. George wants to know Ty Chandler, Gibson, Waddle, non-PPR for the flex.
Oh, standard. I think we've got to go Waddle, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you good spot, theoretically in a back and forth game here, high total, 1 point spread. You don't know the true health of Tyreek Hill. Waddle obviously with the monster week last week, but if Hill's out there, he's going to command a lot more of the defensive attention. And if he's more of a decoy than an actual threat here today, that just means that more of the offense is to be focused on Jalen Waddle in this spot. So, George, I like Waddle here for sure. Albert in the chat saying good morning to everybody here. It's good morning to you, Albert. Hope you're having a nice day so far here today. David needs 2 in a PPR. Zeke, Singletary, Chandler, and Bijan Robinson.
Oh, can we trust Arthur Smith to do the right thing with Bijan today?
The DFS community is. Bijan Robinson, one of the higher roster running backs on today's slate. And I had Coop going, him and I kind of debated Bijan Robinson versus Aaron Jones last night. He's trying to figure out where the start sit goes in that situation. I definitely think Zeke's in play as my number is the one guy there. Gonna get a ton of volume. Denver's like the worst run defense in football. Singletary tough matchup against the Browns, like we said. Chandler doesn't have a great matchup necessarily against the Lions, but it's like is Bijan going to split carries with Tyler Algier again? You know, like we had like this nice run of 20 and 18 carry weeks for Bijan Robinson. And in the last 2 weeks, they've dipped back down. So, you know, matchup wise, it's Bijan. But what do you think, Britt?
Yeah, I think that Arthur Smith has to go with Bijan because the comments that happened early on in the week about him being on the hot seat and then them even discussing his job security, I think has opened up a can of worms. He knows that he has to utilize his top 10 option. I don't think it's going to be Tyler Algier again this week. And that matchup's really, really good. Almost as good as he got last week against the Panthers. Imagine that. What he could have done last week had he not been out there blocking for a 30-something-year-old, you
Right.
know? But yeah, Zeke and Bijan are it for me.
Yep, I'm in agreement with you on that as well. Albert wants to know Ayuk or Metcalf in a full PPR. Are you getting that? Ravens matchup, Metcalf, good spot against Tennessee here today.
Yeah, I'm going with Metcalf, and not only because he has a good matchup, but because we've seen in recent weeks that Ayuk has been kind of phased out in favor of Deebo Samuel. So you never know which one of these guys is going to be the one who goes off. Now I'm hoping that it's going to be Metcalf, but my heart of hearts tells me that it's going to be Metcalf over Ayuk.
Yeah, Metcalf for me here. Since we liked Waller in the previous one, that opens Singletary or likely as a flex option if you had to pick one.
So I've actually told people to play Waller and Likely together. I'm not afraid of the double tight end this week when it comes to starting these guys. So that's where I'm going with this one too.
Betterbot says he's down a ton and needs the most upside of Ford, Elliott, or Gibson. Needs 2 in the PPR here. Again, locking in Zeke for me, it's either Jerome Ford against Houston or Antonio Gibson against the Jets today for you, Britt.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go Antonio Gibson. I know that Chris Rodriguez has eaten in a little bit of his snap share, but this week it's against the Jets. You can't really pass on them. Where you get them is where you throw. And regarding Jerome Ford, the Texans have not been that run sieve that we've seen out of them in
No.
previous years. They've actually been pretty good. And the Browns have, I think, 4 out of 5 of their offensive linemen questionable and beat up for today. So I'm not that bullish on how much they're actually going to run today.
Yeah, I'm with you. Even last week, Ford did not. You know, him and Hunt had really tough games against Chicago. I'm not really high on Ford this week. Gibson, though we lost the carry battle against Rodriguez last week, still came through in PPRs with the reception. So Antonio Gibson, Ezekiel Elliott, there, Matt, for us here today. Good luck there, sir. Jonathan wants to know one full PPR: Chandler, Singletary, or Roshan Johnson.
This one, I'm going to go with Chandler. Roshan's looked really good. He's played the majority of the snaps. He's also seen targets, but we just don't know what we're going to see out of that Chicago backfield. Which running back performed better in practice this week? And that's been the tipping point of who's going to get the starts. With Chandler, at least we've heard that coach speak, saying that he's going to get the carries.
Yeah.
If Madison's out, it gets even better. So I'm going to lean towards Chandler.
Yeah, I'm in on that. I'm given the options. Roshan Johnson obviously looked pretty good last week. He ran far better than the other 2 backs and was the only one involved in a passing offense. But Chandler could just be a volume monster here today if that game plays the way most people are expecting it to. Parsh here wants to know start 2 in a flex. JSN, Downs, Pitts, Roshan Johnson today. What are your thoughts on the 2 PPR for a flex spot?
Oh, so I think I'm going to go Downs. I know he didn't do a lot last week, even with Pittman out, but he has to do something this week. And then, man, with Donta not expected to play, that's news because I know he missed practice due to what was deemed a personal issue, but I did not know that that was going to keep him out. So that may change things a little bit for me. If Foreman doesn't play, I think Roshan goes there.
Yeah, I think Roshan's a pretty good spot if that ends up working out there. David, he had a Chiefs or Broncos defense question.
Oh,
Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Patriots.
yeah. I was trying to think of the weather and the Broncos Patriots because early on in the week they were talking about snow.
Yeah, the latest update said it looks like it's going to be okay. The system will be moved out of there, so Should just be a cold night, nothing too weathery.
Yeah, so I think I might go Broncos here.
Yeah, I mean the Patriots offense still has a lot of questions to it. So Bailey Zappi's still prone to turnovers as we saw last week. They do give up sacks. So fine going there. Check your waiver wire. I don't know how you feel about this, Britt, but the Chicago Bears defense was on a waiver wire in every league that I was in. And I picked them all up for this week. I'm just, you know what? They have a great matchup this week. They have a good matchup next week. I'm just gonna, in the way they've been playing lately. I mean, if the Chicago Bears defense powers are on your waiver wire, I'd go ahead and give them a look here. David wants to know Denver or Jets defense here today. Jets obviously got the Commandos there in New York.
Yeah, I'm leaning Jets. I've held on to the Jets defense this entire season, not only because how good their secondary is, but their defensive line is actually really underrated. And I see Howard in the chat. I know he's very happy hearing me talk up his Jets, but the way that they created turnovers and the way that they get tackles in that linebacker core is just something that can't be overstated, especially when they're going up against Sam Howell, who has been sacked a ton throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, I did the playbook here this week, and I had an uncomfortable amount of New York Jets in the playbook this week, and I didn't really know how to feel about it. But we're playing it. I'm actually a big believer in Garrett Wilson here today. Went on a nice long rant during the NFL DFS show, which I linked to the playbook directly. So if you want to hear my Garrett Wilson rant, you can go find the playbook and listen to that there. For a quarterback, he wants to know Mullins or Geno. He's leaning Mullins in a shootout. I have Mullins over Geno this week as well. Again, the way to beat Detroit's to throw the football, and what better team to be surrounding yourself with than Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, revenge game, KG Osborne. A lot of good weapons there for Mullins here this week. So I'm good. I'm good riding Mullins at home today. Nick wants to know pick 2.5 PPR, Rashad White or Jonathan Taylor. Rashad White's one of my favorite plays of the day today. So definitely plugging him in for me. What are your thoughts, though?
Yeah, Rashad White was actually featured in my sleeper article that I just sent over. The receptions for him seem very, very low going up against the Jaguars, who have allowed the most receptions to the running back position in the entire NFL. So I love him there in a PPR situation. And then I think I'm leaning Rashee Rice. He's slowly emerged as this wide receiver one in the Chiefs offense. And JT kind of has a more difficult matchup going up against the Falcons. So I know it seems weird to sit Jonathan Taylor, especially when he comes back for the playoffs, but I think that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I'm fine going in that direction. Again, there's no Zach Moss, obviously, but there's still, you just don't know with his first game back how, if they're just going to throw him into the fire. I will say Jonathan Taylor is I think he's the highest projected running back in terms of DFS rostership today, but people are just jumping back on that bandwagon. John here, non-PPR start 2, Swift, Pollard, Bijan, or Kenneth Walker?
I'm going to go Bijan, and I think DeAndre Swift here. Tyron Smith has already been ruled out for Dallas. Zach Martin is questionable. Don't like that going up against Miami. Again, a very high over-under in this game. I think it's going to be a lot of passing back and forth. And then Kenneth Walker has been limited all week. And we already talked about the fact that when he's been limited and hasn't practiced, that he doesn't get that full snap share.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with those two here as well. Jonathan wants to know, just start Nico or Sutton for full PPR?
I'm going to go Sutton here. JC Jackson being held out 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I think that's, oh my gosh, it was already a juicy matchup for Sutton. It gets even better. With Collins playing with that calf injury and with Case Keenum just downgrades him a little bit in my book.
Yeah, Sutton for me. Again, the Patriots defense on the road as well. Not really liking that for them, especially that secondary just hasn't been all that great. Ethan saying happy holidays to us. Happy holidays to you as well. Brian wants to know Cleveland or Jets defense today.
Oh, this is so tough. I'm dealing with this same conundrum in a league, and I actually went Jets defense over Cleveland. Cleveland lost both of their safeties, and that to me is a big problem this week. I think that they get exposed. They have allowed a little bit more in the run game over the past few weeks as well, whereas the Jets get Sam Howell, and he's just going to get sacked all day long.
Yeah. If Sam Howell decides to throw back 45 times, there's at least 5 sacks coming that way. So Jonathan St. Form is not supposed to play today. I saw that. So good to know. Again, maybe boost to Roshan Johnson here in DFS as well. Good price tag over on DraftKings. Ann's in the chat. What's up, Ann? Saying hello to me and Mrs. Claus. Yeah. Mullins or Flacco? I'm going Mullins here today.
Yep, I am as well. Again, that higher over-under total, the way that you beat the Lions is to throw, and then you've got a little bit better weapons.
Yeah.
Although Amari Cooper and David Njoku really have come on lately.
Yeah, listen, I've said it, if the Browns defense is good enough today and they do kind of hold Case Keenum down, Flacco may not need to throw 45 times like he has in these competitive games the last few weeks. And that ends up being the case. Could see some down production for him. I'm liking Mullins here. But yeah, I mean, at the very least, we know consolidated target ship there to Njoku and Amari Cooper. And I need that in a league, so I'll take it. Pacheco or Aaron Jones here today. Both running backs coming back from injury. Or
yeah,
I lied. Pacheco is. Jones came back last week.
Yeah, I'm still going to go Pacheco. I love that spot against the Raiders. The Chiefs are 10-point favorites. I think that this could turn into a game that they just end up running the clock out on in the second half. So I really like him. And Jerick McKinnon's out today. Yes.
Yeah. Jeffrey here, half PPR, Achane or Singletary at the flex.
I'm going Achane.
Yep. And then McLaurin, Demario Douglas, Wicks at wide receiver.
Oh, this is tough. Definitely ruling out Scary Terry.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go Wicks. I was leaning Wicks just because of Christian Watson and Jaden Reed being injured.
Yeah, my worry there is just the lack of success teams have had throwing against Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Juju Smith-Schuster this week for the New England Patriots, so it's close there, Jeffrey. Wicks is obviously going to be the number one wide receiver for that team here today. It's just not a great passing spot, but the Patriots offense also kind of sucks. So I don't think it's a huge difference between the two. Wicks obviously the bigger play, maybe a higher touchdown potential. So if you need that, certainly you can go the Wicks direction there. Mm-hmm. Flacco or Geno Smith here today?
I think I'm going Flacco.
Okay.
I like Smith, but I just haven't seen enough from him this year to really give him any upside. At least Flacco has had multi-touchdown games over the past few weeks.
Okay. I'm fine going Flacco there. Dallas or Washington?
Gotta go Dallas here.
Yeah.
I know that Washington's very popular going up against Trevor Siemian, but their defense is also trash.
I'm just going to say it again. Go see if the Bears defense or something like that is on your waiver wire. Yeah. You can play them there. Aaron Jones, Chandler, Montgomery, start two.
I'm going to go with Aaron Jones and honestly Chandler. I think that Jahmyr Gibbs has supplanted Montgomery in this offense.
Yeah, I'm 100% in there. Vanderstick here. Good morning to you. Walker, Taylor, Montgomery, and a 1-point PPR. I think I go Taylor in this spot.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm leaning as well. At least he gets the full snap share, or should.
Yeah, down because of Kupp. Kupp had so many opportunities to score touchdowns in that game, just could not figure it out, unfortunately.
I was so pissed. I was yelling at the TV.
So close.
If you guys ever want to watch football with me, don't, because I yell a lot.
Speaking of watching football with you, Sellers says good morning to Bender. Let's see here. Bender's telling everybody smash the like button. Yeah, smash the like button if you haven't done so already, and gift us some likes. We'll take it. We'll take that. Don DeFormer not expected to play. Yep. David, Ayuk, Singletary, or Chandler in the flex?
Oh, I think I'm going Ayuk here. I know that I kind of downplayed him earlier, but I like him more in PPR formats, going back and forth with the Ravens.
That works for me. Need two in a flex. Javonte, Addison, Cooper, Kincaid for a tight end premium.
Oh, well, Kincaid played last night and got 1 point, so
hopefully you didn't start him.
He's eliminated. Yeah, he just disappeared completely. I'm going Addison and Amari Cooper here.
Yep.
The Patriots defense, we talked about how bad their offense was, but their run defense specifically has not allowed a 70-yard rusher since week 9. And over the past few weeks, they haven't allowed a running back over 50 yards. So I'm very down on Javonte today.
Yeah, I'm with you here. The Patriots defense certainly not their problem, though. They are going to be without Jabril Peppers today, who's been a big playmaker for them this year. John wants to know start one wide receiver, one flex of Metcalf, Adams, Pollard, and Taylor. It's a great problem to have here.
Yeah, totally. Very good drafting. This is why you're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So kudos to you. DK and Devontae, I think, for me today.
Yeah, I'm good there. DK and Adams works. Javante, Cook, Samuel, Dobbs, Goddard for no tight end premium.
Samuel, I think, working out of the slot against the Jets. If they're going to move the ball, they're going to go through him. And honestly, Dubs, I think. It may have been Goddard, but with Devonta Smith expected to play, that kind of downgrades him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we don't know how involved Cooks ends up being in this game, and we talked about Javante's bad matchup there. So I'm good rolling those two. Matthew's saying good morning. J Net for life here. Pick two: Godwin, Walker, Zeke, or Ridley.
Oh, I'm gonna go Godwin, and honestly, I think I'm going Ridley here with Zay Jones out and Trevor Lawrence back in. That game has an even point spread, and also a very high game total. So I think it's gonna be back and forth. And the Bucks do play an even amount of man and zone. And we've seen that Ridley, while he doesn't do well in man, does very well in zone.
Yes, very well in zone for sure. And the last 2 weeks, 25 targets, I think, for Ridley.
Yes.
Same volume there. So I'm good. Going stacking that game. Well, Matthew wants to know if Reed is out. Are we playing Wicks over Dubs today?
I mean, Dubs has gotten targets. He's played the snaps.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's much difference between the two, to be honest. They're very close in rankings to me. Although if you're chasing upside, I think I would go Wicks over Dubs.
He's got a follow up here. If we had to pick one, Isaiah Likely, Gus Edwards, Reed, Dubs, and Wicks.
Likely scares me against the San Francisco defense.
And that's
likewise,
a bunch of Packers wide receivers. So
right.
If all are healthy, who do you play? Reed, Dubs, or Wicks?
Reed, I think the carry volume.
Okay, and then you would do Dubs over Wicks if Reed is out?
Well, depending on if you need upside or not.
Sure.
I think if you need floor, you go Dubs with the targets. If you need upside, then you go Wicks.
Brew Crew here needs 3.5 PPR of Hubbard, Amari Cooper, Mostert, and Derrick Henry.
I think I'm sitting Derrick Henry today. I have the feeling that it's going to be a lot more Tajay Spears than we've seen. Great matchup for everybody, though.
Is Hill going to be able to go for Miami? Reports are he's going to expected to play, but he's got to go through the pregame workout, and they're going to see how he's feeling. So keep that up. What's a good non-high owned quarterback for today? So looking at the latest rostership that we have available, the ownership in quarterback has really started to become more spread out. Earlier this week, a lot of people were going to either Fields or Mullins. Since the latest updates, which came out this morning, it's a lot more, spread out. Everybody's sort of in the same, 8 to 10% range. If you are looking for a low rostered quarterback, Baker Mayfield and Trevor Lawrence are both under 10%. Nobody's playing Tua. He's 2% in a game with a 50 game total. So the problem is there isn't a ton of great value. So like getting Tua and Tyreek is kind of difficult to do today. You could probably get Tua and Waddle in there, but not a lot of rostership going to the top end quarterbacks here this morning. So could go that way. Dan, I know you're a Dolphins fan, so if you were looking to go Tua and Waddle, that one certainly works here. Just another Dave, happy semifinal Sunday here. How do you feel about having Pacheco and Rice in your lineups this week? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I think that's great. They're in a great spot. Like I mentioned earlier, I think that Rice gets his in the first half and then Pacheco gets his in the second. I think that there's enough to go around for everyone. Happy holidays, everyone. Everybody gets a present.
Listen, this year there has been enough for Pacheco and a wide receiver on the Chiefs to kind of come through there. So the Nature Boy wants to know Ayuk or Rice today.
Oh, I think this way I'm going Rice. It's too split between Ayuk and Debo. And lately it's been Debo, whereas Rice has been the wide receiver one, even over Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I'm fine going there. Yeah, Kelsey, some weeks great, but more weeks this year it feels like he hasn't been like truly paying off what we'd hoped for. Fields or Dak in the 4 touchdown league.
Mm, do we go back to Dak after last week? I You answer this because my Cowboys bias is showing. I'm leaning Dak.
Yeah, I'm going Fields here against the Cardinals at home, and also for DFS right now since the latest updates came out. Fields is the highest projected rostered quarterback in DFS this week, so a lot of people are high on the Bears situation here going up against the Cardinals this week. Then we got it in the flex: Ayuk, Rice, or Ty Chandler.
I think I like Rice. I still like Rice there, but Chandler's very close.
Okay, unless this was a. Is this an either or nature board? Let us know. If it was like Ayuk or Rice, and then Rice, Ayuk, Chandler, I don't know, but Rice would work for me here too. Scares me too, but I clinch the playoffs and I would beat the number 2 first round. I'm up against the first place player. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the likely Edwards, Reed, Dubs, Wicks. It's a tough spot to be in there, Matthew. So hopefully we'll get some clarity on the injuries soon. D Hop, Devonta Smith, Barkley, or Barkley and Chandler is the 2-part question here.
Man, with Will Levis back in, I think that downgrades DeAndre Hopkins so much. And Seattle's pass defense has actually been playing a lot better over the past few weeks. So I think I'm going to go Devonta Smith, even with that knee injury. It's a bone bruise. We've seen Travis Kelce play through a bone bruise early on in the season, and he's going to go. So I'm going to go with Smith here.
Is Levis playing today?
No, Tannehill. Did I say Levis?
Yeah.
I meant Tannehill and over Levis. I've only slept for a couple hours.
I was
holiday
like,
season.
Did I miss that? I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I just misspoke. I consolidated my words. As far as Barkley and Chandler, I think I'm going to go Chandler with Barkley against the Eagles, and with Waller back in there, it seems like some of his passing upside kind of goes away.
Yeah, I had a lot of people in Discord this week asking about what to do with Saquon Barkley. It's like, I don't know if we can go there this week. You just need a lot of like right things to break for him to have a real big game here. So Reed, Terry McLaurin, Wicks, or Samuel?
I like Samuel here. Again, going up against the Jets, the slot is the only way that they're going to move that ball without the run game, at least. With Reed, he's been injured. Wicks, don't really know. It's kind of interchangeable. With McLaurin, he's going to get Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed.
Mm-hmm. Jared, what's up, Jared? Wants to know how would you approach Devonta Smith? You have to wait till Monday or Tyreek later today. Can't afford a 0. I mean, Devonta Smith got taken off the injury report, so he should be good to go there, Jared. So I think if you're waiting out the Tyreek news, like you could play Devonta and feel pretty confident on it. If Tyreek's in, would you play Tyreek over Devonta Smith here?
Yeah, I think I would. Higher over under, better matchup as far as game script, I think, for Tyreek. So, yeah, I would go with him, but I'm not just saying I hope that Devonta Smith has a great day because I need him to have a great day in several leagues.
Yeah.
I really do think that he has a pretty decent day.
Yeah, and since he got taken off the injury report, I feel pretty good there. Roll with likely over waiver options like Pitts, Otten, and Kraft.
I mean, yeah. I think the targets and the snaps are there for likely. It's a tougher
matchup. Too good lately to not want to. Plus, if Rice is out, if Flowers is out, ends up being out now too, like only helps him out a bit there. Is the Fields more stack going to be a league winner? It may be. It's a great matchup for them coming up here, and DJ Moore's been obviously a stud this season, so I'm happy to see it. Lockett or Reed in the flex?
Oh man. I mean, is Reed even going to play? Do we have any news on him yet? That's the situation.
Not that I've seen, no.
Yeah, it's still up in the air. I think honestly, I would trust Lockett against the Titans.
There's a better matchup for Tennessee than Green Bay. Again, the Panthers' pass defense, even though they don't win any football games, right? Like their defense against the pass has actually been pretty good. And Howard Benner's been on this like all season long. I was like, well, they haven't faced this kind of pass offense yet, and then they go and they like shut them down. I was like, all right, maybe they are that good against the pass. So teams just opt to run. The Packers certainly aren't afraid to run the football. They're going to have Dylan back here, so today as well. So it just, kind of is what it is when it comes to their the pass defense for Carolina. And saying happy holidays and thanks for the help, of course. Tua
Enjoy the eggnog.
Purdy. Yeah, Tua Purdy for 4-point touchdown.
We talked about Tua earlier. This over under in this game is
Mm-hmm.
very high. If you've got Tyreek, I know that we typically don't like to stack just in case some things go wrong, but I'm feeling a Tua game in my
Yeah.
bones. I think that the Dolphins beat the Cowboys today, and I hate that for myself, but I love that for your fantasy team.
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine. Sorry, going the Tua Tyreek route here. If Tyreek has a big day, like Tua's probably having a big day too, obviously. So, not too worried about that one. Matthew's saying he could pick up Demario Douglas if we aren't happy with Reed and Wicks.
I mean, that it still worries me. That Patriots offense outside of the running game, I don't like it. I don't think we play over likely.
Okay. Next question. I assume we're all going Chandler over Madison. I am Jared again. Kevin O'Connell came out and basically said, like, the idea is to get Chandler more carries, and if Madison's back, he adds great depth. Not a vote of confidence there for Alexander Madison being any more than a backup running back in that situation there. So Jeffrey says, thank you and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well. And Ann wants to know, Zeke or Javonte? I'm leaning Zeke Elliott here.
100% Zeke. We talked about the Patriots defense and them not allowing 70 or 50 yards rushing from a single player. I think Zeke is going to smash against the Broncos.
The figure report wants to know Calvin Ridley or Garrett Wilson for a non-PPR.
Oh, Garrett Wilson. We got to go Garrett Wilson, right? Against the Commanders.
Yeah, to give an abbreviated version of my rant, I went on for the NFL DFS show. And again, you can catch the full rant there in the playbook. I did a direct link to that little clip there. But basically saying that almost every game this season, it feels like the Washington Commanders just lose the opposing team's best wide receiver. We saw Cooper Kupp just by himself on the 65-yard touchdown. We saw DJ Moore get 400 yards receiving basically in that game because they just didn't cover him. I feel like there's going to be a point in today's game where the Commanders just lose, where Garrett Wilson's on the field, and it's just going to come down to Trevor Siemian putting the football on him, and you're going to get like a 60-yard touchdown. So for a non-PPR, I think Wilson's is a good way to go. Certainly some good touchdown equity there. I know the matchup for Calvin Ridley against Tampa Bay is a pretty good one. He's going to get peppered with targets, but Commanders are just so bad. I think we're going to go Wilson for me. Browns or Bears defense? I'm all in on the Browns. All in on the Bears. Two Bs, man. Two Bs. All in on the Bears defense today. So go there. And then likely Goddard or Waller.
I think I'm leaning Waller here. We already talked about it. We saw the targets that he got in a limited snap share. The Eagles are very bad against the tight end. I think it's a good day for Waller today.
Yeah, I'm fine. Jones or Waddle?
Gonna go Waddle still. Even in a good matchup with Jones, I've got to go Waddle.
Cleveland or Eagles defense?
I'm going to go Cleveland.
Okay. I'm good there. And then Monty or Ty Chandler?
Ty Chandler. I think that Monty has lost the backfield to Gibbs.
Yeah, I would give you that. Chandler or Hall? Everybody's playing Breece Hall in DFS today. I don't know. I'm going Chandler here, I think.
I think so too. Hall has been very good when he's good, but just very bad when he's bad. And he had a great matchup last week and didn't do jack.
Yeah,
so
he lost carries like Abanikanda, like Dalvin Cook. He's still a big part of their passing offense. If you think there's just going to be a ton of checkdowns, maybe Hall finds a way to a big day today, but Chandler feels more secure to me in that matchup. Justin Other Dave says, I know you start your studs. He's happy to have Justin Jefferson back in the lineup. But what are our expectations with Mullins at quarterback? I mean, did you see what he did last week? Pretty good week. It's just that Jordan Addison got all the touchdowns. So I think you're fine going Jefferson here. I don't know who you would start over him. If you want to throw some options at us, we can let you know. But I'm fine going Mullins. Again, Mullins has been a quarterback in this league before. A good amount of starts with San Francisco. But he's not, not some scrub backup as we saw last week. And you can throw in the lines a little bit here. So I'm perfectly fine with Mullins with Jefferson there. Zeke or Godwin for a full PPR?
Oh, man. I think we go Godwin
Okay.
here. It's very close though.
Yeah, it's probably Godwin in the shootout. I just don't think the Patriots score enough for Zeke. He'd need to be that big volume receptions play like we saw a couple weeks ago for that to hit. Thoughts on Roshan versus Herbert here? Roshan got the better of the work last week, so.
Yep, I think I'm leaning Roshan there too. Although the Bears running back room just does feel like a total trap. So we never know. Who
Never.
had the better practice this week?
And
Does any beat
they ride
writer?
the hot hand is a problem too, right? So it doesn't even matter who starts. It's all about who breaks off the first big run, and they just get the
Mhm.
carries. GZO here, pick 2 of Pacheco, ETN, or Zeke needs a ceiling play.
So I think I'm going Pacheco and Zeke here. ETN really worries me against Vita Vea, and
Yeah.
he's had some very subpar weeks recently. Like he's the safer floor option, but maybe Zeke is just peppered with targets. I think that's a more realistic situation than ETN.
Great problem to have here, Laporta or McBride. Can you play them both, Marcus? Like, what's your flex situation at?
Yeah, 100%. I think I'm going McBride,
Okay,
but very reluctantly, just
sure.
because Marquise Brown has already ruled out and McBride has been getting the targets. But the way that Detroit Lions offense has been operating, just sky high ceiling.
So benching Laporta coming off of a 3-touchdown game probably is a hard pill to swallow, but you have 2 of the top 5 tight ends in fantasy this year. So good drafting or waiver wire pickup probably on McBride there. Kenneth Walker, Cortland Sutton, half PPR.
I'm going Sutton here. Yep.
Chuck says, good morning. Full PPR, need a tight end of Ingram or McBride?
I'm going to go McBride still, although I do really like Evan Ingram this week. Again, the targets that McBride's getting, it's too good to pass up.
So then he can flex either Ingram, Roshan Johnson, Drake London, or Noah Brown. Drake London, again, a popular DFS play today.
Man, this is so tough. I know that I'm starting Noah Brown in a league because of the rapport with Case Keenum, the fact that the Browns' 2 safeties are out. But Ingram is really tempting against that Tampa Bay defense with no Christian Kirk and no Zay Jones. Would you do the double tight end? I've been kind of high on the double tight end.
Yeah, it's him or London for me. I think would be the way I'd go, and I'm fine going Ingram, knowing that there's probably some increased targets going his way there. Chuck, that works for me. Packers defense against the Panthers or the Dolphins defense against Dallas?
Packers, I guess, but they have not provided much upside.
No, and the Panthers offense, the defense or Panthers offense doesn't usually give a ton of upside for the opposing defense because they don't throw the ball a lot. They, 20 plus carries 3 straight weeks are Chuba Hubbard here. So, one more half PPR, JSN Wicks, only if Reed or Watson are both out, or Parker Washington.
Oh, I think I'm going JSN. Parker Washington, even in a good matchup, scares me.
Yeah,
because he had that great game when Christian Kirk first went out, but then he was playing a majority of the snaps and only saw 2 targets. Last week we saw Jamal Agnew come in and kind of shake it up. I'm more confident with JSN.
Yeah, I like JSN over Washington as well. Washington did see 50% of the offensive snaps last week, though, so it wasn't a total loss. I'm just curious actually to see how it all breaks down with Zay Jones out. That's the one to look at. Need 2 of Pollard, Bijan, Chandler, Zeke.
I'm going Bijan, and I think Zeke here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Fine by me. Better matchups for both of those guys there. Pick 2 in a flex: Godwin, Myers, Downs, Gibson, Douglas.
Godwin, Myers, I think. I'm gonna go with them. Godwin finally showed up last week. Myers, the game script is really showing that they're going to be down. They're going to have to throw. And Kansas City has been susceptible to the slot, which he hasn't played a ton of. But when he's in the slot, that's when he gets those targets.
Agreed. Andrea here. Good morning. Merry Christmas to you. Need 2 running backs and a flex of Mostert, Pacheco, Bijan Robinson, Ty Chandler, Devonta Smith.
Oh my gosh. This is the hardest question. I think I'm going to go Mostert, Pacheco, and I'm going to roll with Bijan this week.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have an issue with that. Again, Bijan is such a flyer, but he has the best matchup of the group there, so perfectly fine going in that group. Then he wants to know Ferguson or Likely at PPR.
Ferguson. I'm going to go Ferguson.
Miami's D is on fire, but the Cowboys scares me. Would you play Broncos over against the Patriots over them today?
Yeah, I think I would. Actually, even without the snow.
Yeah, Paul wants to know Lawrence or Mayfield.
Man, Mayfield has just been on fire lately.
4 touchdowns last week.
Yes, absolutely insane. But I like the matchup better for Trevor Lawrence. I
Yeah,
think they're going to pass more than they're going to run.
probably true. Mayfield just has the better weapons. That's my problem.
I know. They're right there, right? It's
They
the
are
most
right.
difficult.
I'm going to go Mayfield because Lawrence is coming off the concussion. So
That's fair. That's fair.
And they're home. I'm gonna go Baker there, Paul. Double tight end is where Jared's going with Kelsey and Njoku. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Can't hate the Kelsey and Njoku the way they're going.
Yeah.
Sean lost Pittman, half PPR, Kraft, Parker Washington, or Hill here.
Oh,
who's the Hill? Why am I blanking on this? What's K Hill?
That's what I was wondering as well. Not sure.
Yeah, Sean, who's K Hill? I'm blanking on what that is there. Sorry.
Yeah, same. It's early in the morning. I think there's nothing really wrong with Tucker Kraft here, even if you have Wicks going in your other spot. At least we've seen that he gets targets. With Washington, he's just such a big unknown. And then I don't know who K Hill.
Yeah, I'm like Googling. I'm like, well, K Hill football, right? Like,
yeah,
can't come up with it. Also, Zamir White, but don't know if Jacobs is going to play. Yeah, Jacobs, White, too difficult to pick that one right now. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play, start Jerome Ford or Gus Edwards. Ford for me.
Yeah, it's same for me too.
Let's see. Aaron wants to know Goff or Baker. I'm going Baker Mayfield here.
Yep, 100%. Goff's away. Even if he is in a dome, we know how he plays away from home.
Sit one of Singletary, London, or Roshan Johnson.
I think I'm going to sit Singletary. I don't like what I've seen with him.
Ty Chandler versus Detroit, Montgomery versus Minnesota, Achane versus Dallas, Saquon versus Philly.
Sit one. Man, are we sitting Saquon?
Yeah.
Because that's where I'm leaning out of this whole group that we're sitting Saquon
here. Dave wants to know what's the best punishment for last place?
I don't know about best, but the craziest ones that I've seen are the tattoos. Like, who is agreeing to get a tattoo for last place? That's a very heavy commitment.
I like the Waffle House challenge ones where you have to like sit in a Waffle House and like, for 24 hours, but you get to take an hour off for every waffle you eat. Those ones are kind of wild. The guys eating like 15 waffles, and they have to spend half their day in a Waffle House. There was a celebrity one that I thought was pretty funny. The winner of the league gets to kick one person out of the league and replace them, but they don't know until the draft day of the next year. So everybody shows up. It's a live draft. They all get set up, and then right before they draft, the winner stands up and kicks one person out of the league and replaces them with the person that they brought. So you're all ready to go. You have no idea what it was. Yeah, some celebrity was talking about that's their punishment in their league for like if you're whoever wins gets to make that decision. So I can't imagine doing all the prep, getting ready to go, and then like, yeah, you're out. Like, son of a gun.
No, that's so mean.
Let's see. Commanders Texans defense today.
I'm going Texans defense. The Commanders are garbage. I feel like the Commanders are such a trap. Everybody is going with them because they're playing against Simeon. Simeon has not been that bad in all of his time in the league. Like, he is a proven veteran, and the Commanders just can't keep up with anybody, especially in the secondary. It's a big trap.
Okay, then what's if you take the Texans, would you play them over the Dolphins or Green Bay?
Yeah, I think I would.
Eric's repeating his question with more info. He's got pick two flex: Godwin, Myers, Downs, Gibson, Douglas. I'm already starting Devontae. Do you think it's Godwin and Myers still playing Adams? Yeah, I'm still fine going that.
Yeah.
Again, if the Raiders are going to score today, wouldn't you want to have pieces of that? Like, wouldn't you'd be kicking yourself if you play Devontae and it's all Myers all day? Like, just stack that game and hope the Raiders offense goes off. Juan here wants to know 2-part question for my wide receiver 1 and 2, RB 1 and 2, and then a flex. So Rice, Jefferson, Myers, Samuel, Lockett. I don't know. He ran out of space. It looked like typing his question here. So
Yep.
one, like break it up a little bit more, and we can help you out there a little bit. Wide receiver 1 and 2. I mean, definitely playing Justin Jefferson of that group. Of the players we see, Noah Brown, Amari Cooper, Jacoby Myers, Rashee Rice. I think we're going to go the first two there with Rice and Jefferson, wouldn't you?
Rice and Jefferson, and then I think for the flex we're going to go Cooper.
Yeah, depending on what your running backs look like, I guess there, Juan, let us know. Jets or Browns defense here?
I'm going to go with Jets. Again, I've made this very same decision in a couple leagues. And I just really think that Sam Howell is going to be knocked down all day long.
Yeah.
It's the Jets.
And then Matthew is saying the ice bath is where he's going with his
I can't.
last place punishment.
I can't. Anything but an ice bath.
It's that, or it's the people standing outside holding signs like I'm the worst at fantasy football. I have to stand out here in bathing suit or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, here's the second part of there. Jerome Ford, James Conner, Justice Hill, Jacobs, Zamir White, Antonio Gibson.
I think I'm going Ford and James Conner here. But it's very close with Josh Jacobs, whoever gets to start. But yeah, I'm going to go Ford and Conner.
Yeah, that's fine. Gibson with no B-Rob and Downs and no MPJ.
I mean, yeah, Gibson with no B-Rob. Last week, though, didn't do that great.
Right.
It was Chris Rodriguez getting the carries. Like, Gibson was fine as far as catching passes. And I think that he does have some upside there because you can run on the Jets. But his usage concerns me.
Does Jonathan Taylor finally pay off for the people who've drafted him in the last couple of years? It's a good spot. No Zach Moss. If they play Trey Sermon over him, we should all riot. So,
yes, we will be burning things down if Trey Sermon gets the start over Jonathan Taylor. It just depends on who else you have, because there are certain questions where I am benching Jonathan Taylor for running backs in better situations. But if you held on to him and got this far, you probably have better options, honestly. Right. So I don't know if it really even matters.
Aaron Jones or Zeke?
I'm going to go Aaron Jones here. Panthers defense.
Denver, Cleveland, or Philly?
Denver.
Yeah.
Denver.
I'll go Denver there as well. Guys, if you haven't already downloaded the BetterCast app, you see that QR code there on the screen. We have our BetterCast game going on for Christmas Day. You want to check that out. It's free to download, free to play. You scan that QR code, take part in the pregame questions. Those are already loaded up for you to answer over-unders for props on that day's game. Winners get tickets. You can use those tickets to redeem for cool prizes. Here's our store right here. Again, completely free. All you have to do is sign up and play and have an opportunity to win and redeem for autographed jerseys, memorabilia, and more, mini helmets. All of this is completely free. You just got to go sign up and download the BetterCast app to check that out for everybody again. So scan the QR code there and come play on the BetterCast app with us. Myself, Britt's in there, Andrew Cooper, Howard Bender, they're all hanging out in the BetterCast app and having some fun. Watching some football with everybody. We do trivia questions, trivia during the week as well. So if you don't have time to sit through a whole game, you can do the trivia during the week, earn tickets to redeem for those prizes there also. Just Another Dave needs a Taylor, Achane, Chandler, Pacheco question.
And then it's a pick two, I think.
Yep.
So I'm actually going Achane and Pacheco here.
Okay, that works. Likely Goddard or Schultz?
Gotta go Likely, right?
Yeah.
Gotta go Likely today.
Hubbard, Connor, or Zeke, pick one. Sit one.
Sit one. I
I think I'm sitting
Am I
Connor.
sitting Connor? Yep. That's who I'm doing as well.
Jets, Washington, Broncos. Oh, Jets or Broncos, rather.
Jets.
Works. Jets work for me. Everybody, I don't know if you haven't noticed already to scroll down at the bottom, but our holiday sale is going on right now. It ends on the 26th. So we got a couple of days left to take advantage of it. You can scan the QR code there, or you go to fantasyfarm.com/Santa. I'm putting the link in the chat there as well. You can become an all-pro member for just $4 for the first month. That's $1 a week for the next 4 weeks. You get access to all of our premium content. So the next 4 weeks of DFS content for not for free, but for $1 a week with all of our content, NBA, NFL, NHL, PGA, NASCAR, MMA, you name it, we cover it. If it's behind the paywall, you get it for $4 for the first month. There, you get access to our premium Discord. We're in there answering your questions and helping you guys take down your leagues. So we get direct access to all of us. All that premium content, like I said, our NFL Playbook, NBA, NHL Playbooks, all part of that deal. So, but it's only a couple days left to take advantage of the holiday sale. So, again, click the link in the chat, scan the QR code on the screen, or just go to fantasyfarm.com/Santa. Use promo code Santa and get the first month for just $4. So you want to take advantage of that here today. Let's see. More questions in the chat before we run out of here. Brian wants to know, Hubbard, Zeke, Jacobs, Barkley needs 2.
I think I'm doing Hubbard and Zeke today.
Works for me. Cowboys or Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Kittle or Ferguson?
This is tough, but I'm going Ferguson.
And then Tua or Gino? I'm going to go Tua.
Tua, yep.
Double tight ends for DK single entry, McBride and Njoku or McBride and Hawkinson. I'm going McBride and Hawkinson.
I'm going to go McBride and Njoku, actually.
Flip a coin, Andrew. Sorry.
Yep.
If Hill doesn't play, I'm starting Nico Collins, Zeke, or Monty.
We're going to go Collins here.
And then Devonta Smith or Josh Jacobs?
Smith.
I'm going Smith. There. All right, everybody, go listen to Bender and Coop over on Sirius XM from 10 to 11. Then come right back here, myself and Coop, 11 to 12, taking you through the inactives. Have a happy holidays, and we'll catch you all next week.